What's up, everybody? The Doctor's in here at EVO 2019 Championship Sunday, being joined by the man, Hellpockets. How you doing today, man?
I just want to say thank you for having me here, and I want to apologize for how I sound. SamSho, a.k.a. SNK, did it to my voice again, gave it all up for the fans. Hope you enjoyed it, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, Samurai Shodown, the game that has really taken kind of everybody by storm. It kind of been, you know, I didn't know the OG Sam Shodown, but it's fun. It looks hella exciting.
Yeah, Samurai Shodown, at least for as far as I've been following it as a fan, has always been that game that's not really been to the forefront as much as Street Fighter, but it was definitely like on that same plateau, having the same kind of, like, you know, run as far as years go. And in most arcades in America, it was that game that was a little bit off to the side, but you looked at it, it was like, wow, this is beautiful. Like, how do I play this game, right? People just could not help but be like just enthralled with it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gotten some pretty big names. You know, yesterday's top 8 was absolutely bonkers. 7 out of 8 of them were already EVO champions.
Oh man, I got to redo the math on that. I saw Reynolds' tweet, and I'm like, I definitely need to review some history on like that top 8. But for sure, it was a crazy concentration and diverse of top 8 talent, EVO champions, and just international talent. Like, I think we had the most international top 8 in EVO.
I would probably agree with that, not knowing offhand, but it sounds about right. Just knowing.
Just nod with it, man.
I was saying, just knowing the players that were there. And I mean, something I think was very notable was that Jaewong, who is known for playing an infinite amount of games in 3 days as possible, actually DQ'd himself from Street Fighter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he DQ'd himself from Street Fighter. He got 125th or whatever for SamSho.
Wow. Well, all right, yeah. I'm sorry. I was commentating the entire weekend. I didn't even get a chance to look at Twitter or anything like that. I had no idea wow.
So that's pretty crazy.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not very often we see him DQ himself from games to play a different game, but he's like, you know what? No, SamSho's the new hotness. I'm focusing on it.
I mean, you know what? That wasn't. Now that I think about it, Reynolds basically dogged himself out of Dragonball Fighters as well because he was just so focused on SamSho. And I mean, I guess it paid off for both of them, right?
Yeah, top 8.
Top 8, not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, not too bad. EVO, SamSho had 1,200-ish, or was it 1,500?
1,200, 1,500. All I know is that it absolutely smashed the original SNK record that was set by KOF13 in 2012. So I'm extremely proud that we were able to just show up. And unlike the Shirt Monster year, there were like almost no DQs in the pools, man. Almost everybody showed up. I was like, dude, this is actually going to take all weekend.
Yeah, I remember we chatted on Thursday, and you were like, yeah, SoCalibur's done in a day. That's awesome. I got to come back tomorrow, which is still awesome. Yeah. But, like, man, it's a long weekend for me.
It's a very long weekend. I won't complain, though. I love going to EVO, and I love the fact that if they're going to give me a crazy schedule, that just means that they trust in the product I can deliver, and I'm more than happy to just keep giving it to them every year. And if it's for a game that I enjoy, that's just an added little bonus.
Yeah, I mean, so SamSho, very strategic in a way, very calculated, which is why we see players like Jaewong do so well. Now, you had been doing Dragonball, not so much this year, but what is that transition like from such a very instant, very fast-paced game to now? SamSho is very calculated.
I would say that the transition has been one where I just kind of – I'd already known enough about SamSho at the point that it came out that – it kind of felt like going back to something. Even though I've never commentated SamSho before, tournament-wise, it was something that I was comfortable with going back and doing. It fit like a glove, sitting down in a chair and just talking about all these characters that I grew up loving, knowing about the DLC that's coming. Several of those characters I'm in love with, Kazuki, Kazama, can't wait for you to show up. Hopefully they give you a better down heavy. That shit is trash.
So now, you also did house mic work, which is obviously why we're...
Yes, that is the source of my current affliction.
How is that different from sitting backstage, like you said, sitting in the chair doing your normal commentary but now you're in front of the crowd doing commentary, but also kind of hype man?
Well, the first thing I wanted to point out about that was it's kind of a new avenue for not just me but other commentators as well.
Yeah.
It's really getting it's getting pushed to the forefront. I think it's just a matter of knowing where you're going to get your rhythm and how you're going to hit your stride with communicating not only with your co-commentator, because they're going to give you a guy to work with, but also with the audience, because they want you giving these people who are in the seats a feeling like they are a part of the action.
Your own IRL stream monsters.
Basically, right? And it's really interesting because I'm thinking, you know, up until maybe a couple of years ago, we really were hammering at the stream monster, the stream chat interaction. We wanted everybody to watch on stream, so we didn't really have a lot of house mic operatives on deck. But now it feels like we are actually trying to create an experience at the show and put butts in seats, which is like the final frontier of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I personally kind of chalk it up to CEO because they have the wrestling ring, which obviously has the in-house mic. Yeah, and so they make a show of it, and obviously Jabali putting in so much work. They had that big wrestling tournament this year, but it always felt something that I was lacking attending FGC events, coming from Counter-Strike and League of Legends, because they always have a house mic. So like when we go to final round and there's just audience noise, like it definitely felt like something's missing. So I'm really glad that this now new opportunity is coming out for you guys. Yeah,
it's really exciting to try something new and to realize that you actually have some talents you didn't really know you possessed. My partner in commentary, Meta Abe, not someone who's ever done something like that before. He'd done commentary for years with me, and I mean, I don't want to say he was nervous. I don't know if he wants me to say that on camera or not, but I could definitely tell that he was a little stressed about this first experience, and that he wasn't really entirely sure how he was going to communicate, like I said earlier, with me and the audience in this new realm. But he actually discovered, like, hey, I'm kind of good at this.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, interacting with the audience now, like we said, IRL Stream Monsters. Actual Stream Monsters can be pretty brutal. And so I've seen that, you know, when like Romanova's doing commentary, when some other people are doing commentary, it's very rough. Do you think that plays into doing house mic stuff? Because in my experience, IRL FGC events are nothing like what they're like online.
I mean, well, first I'm going to say hopefully that would never bleed into the actual audience. You know, like hecklers are definitely a thing when you look at things like pro sports. And I imagine if it ever gets to the size where we just fill up the arenas every time, we're probably going to get some assholes in there. But I think, yeah, that's probably a good guess on part of the reason why they want to push this in-house experience. The other being, you know, we want to actually make people want to buy the tickets. But now that, you know, we have this interaction with the crowd, we actually make them feel like, you know, it's probably better to be in the house than it is watching it home on stream. That probably will start to go away a little bit because, you know, people lose some of that, you know, bravado when you can see their face.
Yeah, and I mean, it's basically what it is.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like, if you go to any Reddit thread, really, it can get pretty rough. But, then you come out to the event, and, like, everybody you interact with is so nice. They don't have any, you know, usually they don't have mean things to say. And it really actually feels like a community when you are in person.
Oh, definitely. You know, even if it's just, you know, people just deciding to behave themselves, because, you know, every time I don't assume that everyone's a good person online. You know, like I think sometimes the anonymity, whatever, the anonymousness of
the
anonymity of the internet definitely gives some people. It might even surprise them the amount of vitriol that they have inside themselves that they are willing to let out when they think they are free to do so. But if they can come out here and just act like normal, decent human beings, fine, you know, great. I don't care what you do at home.
All right, yeah, that's a good idea. Definitely not worth it to think about what other people are doing in their house. Focus more on yourself.
I think the thing about it, I'm sorry if I'm ranting at all.
No, go for it, man. Take your time.
I have definitely been someone who for a long time has tried to push people to come out to these events, not just to watch, but to play, for whatever, to meet people. And because I feel that once you do that, and once you can actually humanize some of these personalities that are not only on stage, but also in the crowd, or also maybe even playing in top 8 here, it becomes much harder for you to justify any mean thing you could say about them, you know? Like if you met somebody in person that you previously thought was a piece of crap, and then he ended up being a decent person and he maybe bought you a drink or something, you might go home and say, you know, he's all right, you know?
Yeah,
maybe I was wrong.
And, that's something that the FGC really shines in, is having that accessibility. Other esports do have some accessibility between streams and things like that. But if you come to a super major, if you come to EVO, you'll see,
everybody.
Punk. You'll see Punk. You'll see Jaewong walking around, and you can be like, hey, man, great set earlier. Can I take a selfie? And, sometimes they'll say no, but you know what? You can shoot your shot, right?
You shoot your shot, and everybody's at the very least cordial. No one's going to be like, don't you see I'm eating?
I'm trying to play video games here. Get away from me.
I mean, there is an etiquette to this. You definitely don't want to ask Punk for a selfie in the middle of top 32, right?
Hey, man, you in tournament? Let me get this.
Yeah, right. Boom. Yeah, please don't do that. If a player is playing in pools and you want to talk to him, don't stand right behind him and breathe down his neck waiting for him to lose or win. It is very rude.
And if he loses, definitely also maybe take a couple steps back.
Give it like a 5-hour breathing period, please. If it's Perfect Legend, give it like 12 hours.
Yeah, there's definitely certain players that just like disappear. Like they lose and ghost.
And that's fine. Because they're human beings and they have their own process. We all have a process with coping with both difficulties, loss, and sometimes even victory. You have to allow these people to go through that. I mean, you wouldn't want somebody coming up to you after you just had like a heartbreaking loss of any kind and saying, can I get your autograph?
Yeah, that's a bit rough. Oh, man. So you mentioned earlier DLC for SamSho.
Yes.
Since you were so busy, you probably didn't see the DLC announcement for Dragonball. I know it was soft leaked a while ago.
Yeah.
It was hard confirmed.
So I already knew that it was coming. I'm breaking the air, I guess, right? I already knew it was coming. But it looks amazing.
He looked hella cool.
Janemba looks amazing.
It's going to be really bad when he sucks.
I know, man. I'm so scared. I'm like, oh, look at all these cool tools he looks like they have, and none of them are probably any good. No, I don't want to hate. I definitely think that Dragon Ball Fighters is on the way up in terms of how they're approaching these new characters. We see with Kid Goku from GT.
Good times Goku. He has all the tools they took away from everybody else.
Exactly, right? And it's almost feeling like he's like a beta for maybe another version of Dragon Ball where things are a little bit crazier. Don't quote me on that, by the way. I don't know anything anymore. I'm a SamSho player. But if Janemba is at least half as good as GT Goku, then I'm excited for that.
I mean, he's going to get played regardless. I'm in like the Discord for Boston right now, and they're like, don't care. He's going to get fuzzied all day, but I'm just going to eat it and smile because I get to play my boy.
Exactly. Maybe he has something that makes you not want to fuzzy him because he does have a lot of weird space controlling tools, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a couple different counters options as well. It could be neat. We saw how that went with Hit, unfortunately.
Well, yeah. That might just be because he's a Dragon Ball Super character and uninspired as hell. He sucks. I hate that.
So we also have, Brawly and Gogeta now considered super characters.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about that was the Gogeta trailer.
Didn't have Brawly.
Well, it did not have Broly, but the thing that I noticed, other than it looking super cool, was that they used the Shintani art style from the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool. And I kind of want you to go back to the entire cast and do that, but I won't harsh you too much for that.
Because like every other character has their OG, manga and anime inspiration. So now it kind of makes sense that now that they have the new super animation for Gogeta and presumably Brawly, that they would also give a bit of an upgrade.
Exactly.
Those supers look so dope.
Yeah,
good.
Dude, it looks amazing. I honestly can't wait to see what they got in store for this. I think that Dragon Ball Fighters has a great chance going into a third year after this. The World Tour is still going on. It looks like they cleaned that up a little bit with the announcements and the scheduling.
And just the tour itself got cleaned up after a lot of feedback last year.
Yeah.
Having 12 LCQs in 6 hours, really, really disastrous to
You telling me?
mental.
You telling
to the
me?
commentators as well. The first one ends and they're like, hey, man, you got a pool in now? Come on, let's go.
You're getting DQ'd because you're in top 8.
Absolute worst case timeline.
Yeah.
But so they cleaned it up this year. We saw Goichi take it home yesterday, guaranteeing himself a spot in the finals in Paris. So now that's obviously dope. And now I was talking to some people earlier. I think it opens it up a lot for the rest of the tour because he was already running away with so many points-wise.
Right.
Now he doesn't. Yes, for seeding it matters, but he can
chill.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing about that was last year he did pretty much the same thing. He got his spot, and then I won't say he disappeared completely, but he was just
stayed local.
He chilled, you know.
He stayed in the home events. Didn't really travel internationally again.
Right.
Something that we're seeing J1 do this year. So I'm curious if Goichi is going to do it again this year. But what it does is it opens it up points-wise for the players, because now if the second and third seats aren't the one that necessarily grab the next two Saga events, then the Tenkaichi points actually start mattering a lot more now that Goichi's hoarded so much of them.
Well, but remember, it's not like he's banned from these events. He can still show up.
He can still,
and we talk about him.
Gatekeep, though, like Kazunoko did last year.
Right, he can't gatekeep, and I think even with that off the table, I think it would behoove him to not chill too much last year, because we saw after he came back, like everybody kind of outpaced him a little. Like a lot of people that he was normally like just straight up stuffing in the locker had suddenly reversed on him. Yeah, they leveled up. I won't say that's because he didn't go to the events, but why take a chance? You know?
Yeah. Why when you're in such an opportunity in such a prime spot?
Yeah.
Obviously it does behoove him to also avoid burnout, because he's such a streak right now. If 6 months from now it's over.
He has been going super hard though, so I think maybe a relaxed schedule is in the cards for him. In the future.
Now that he's got the guaranteed, take a month off, come back for like the Australian event, and then go from there. So two Tenkaichi events: the Celtic Throwdown in Ireland, and then Couch Warriors in Australia.
Okay,
they're the same weekend.
What?
Yep. The very last weekend.
All right. They're trying. Okay.
Yeah, but no, I think the Dragon Ball World Tour is in a very good spot this year. Lots of people have complaints about their communication, but I think that Arxie and Bamco and all them are doing much better the last month or so. So I think it's very good for them.
I'm very proud of the Bandai Namco team that's been working with Dragon Ball FighterZ. Not some of those guys aren't there anymore, but the people that are left are working their ass off trying to make this tour work. They don't want it to just be another drop in the bucket and see what we do next year. They want this to continue to be something that we can continue to enjoy. Everybody loves this game and watching this game. I don't think anybody involved with this wants it to go away, so I'm really happy about the effort they have been making.
And so you were saying you're excited for next year for a third season. Do you think
I maybe?
Well, do you think it would be better for a straight up third season character pass, or do you think they want to go to Fighters 2?
So in my experience dealing with Dragon Ball games for Bandai Namco, usually you'll get like 2 season passes and then you'll get a sequel. Like we saw that with Xenoverse. Although with Xenoverse 2, they are really pushing the seasonal pass structure. I think we're on our 3rd one so far with that game. So we could just end up keep going seasonally. If they want to do a Fighters 2, fine. I don't think there's much of a difference at this point, though, unless they're actually going to change the way the game works.
Yeah, changing system mechanics would be the time when they want to go to Fighters 2.
Yeah.
But, all right, last question. SamSho finals and DBZ Tour finals. Which one would you go to?
Which one's paying me more?
And with that, this was Hellpockets. But no, that's fair.
You know what I'm about. Come on. Thank you.
I don't control that. Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to shout out? The Game Goons.
Shout out to the Game Goons. We are a group of guys who just love not just fighting games, but video games. And we have been in the community for such a long time that I think we've become a little bit of a seasoned veterans in how this thing works. And we want to spread that around to the people who may not know as much as we do. So that we do things like, commentary boot camps. And we make sure that people can get these reels out to Chris Seg, the producer of EVO. Because a lot of these guys don't even know where to start with that.
Yeah, you helped me out pre-final round. That was very
kind
of you.
Man. No, that's what I do. I'm not really that good of a competitor anymore, so I figure like maybe I can
talk about stuff.
I can talk about stuff, and if I'm talking about stuff, why not give a little bit back to what gave me so much?
All right. Well, thanks again, man. Good luck on the recovery. Hopefully you can talk again by the time you have to go back to work.
Oh, hopefully, man. I'm gonna get home tomorrow, and my daughter's gonna want to, talk all day, and I'm just like, nope. Daddy's taking a nap.
I'll text you. It's fine.
Yeah, there we go. She's ready for that already. She's better typing.
Again, thanks a lot, man.
No problem.